Yesterday we stopped at this part. Strong attachment brings much suffering. Little attachment brings little suffering. No attachment brings no suffering. So as an exercise, we can try to list out what are the things, maybe top 3 things that we are still very much attached to, very strong attachment. I gave one example of the phone. I have strong attachment to my phone, and if I were to lose it, I would suffer tremendously, I would say. Yeah, that's one of my top 3. The second one I would say would be my wallet. If I were to lose this, it would be really troublesome. All my IC, all my cards, all this important stuff. What is inside? IC, yeah, mostly just IC and cards. Money, I don't usually put so much money inside. But the EasyLink cards, credit cards. Sometimes I have membership cards as well. Wow, I would be devastated to lose this. And I was thinking of the reasons why this is so painful to lose. It's because there's a lot of identity inside these 2 things, my wallet and my phone. I have identified it so strongly with myself, with a big ego, a big part of my ego is attached to these 2 things. So that's why if hypothetically I were to lose them, I would really tremendously suffer. So very strong attachment. And other than these 2 objects, of course, I have the people around me that if I were to lose, and I will be devastated as well. First and foremost, my parent, and secondly, my family, of course, my brothers and sisters. My brothers and sister. Yeah, I have 2 brothers and 1 sister. So my closest family, and of course, my friends as well. If I were to suddenly lose all my friends, then my life would probably be pretty much really different. So that's some of the list that I have. I have, of course, a lot of these, but that would be, I would say, on my top 3. Phone, wallet, and my family. Not in that particular order, probably. How about you guys? Would you guys to share anything very strong attachment? It can be any trivial day-to-day life stuff, or it can be people as well. So any of you would like to share? I think I see Sai Kiang, yes.
You want the model answer?
Yeah. Why not?
The body, the 5 aggregates.
I mean, yeah, that's true as well. Yes. Yeah.
We cling on to the 5 aggregates. Whatever you say, I mean, objects, persons, and events, memory, and all that is because of our clinging to our 5 aggregates. Yeah, it's the I. Yeah, yes. The wrongly thinking that the 5 aggregates is me and I. So when you think of you will be devastated when you lose this, lose that. And the worst thing that can come to you is probably you say, I will die tomorrow. I don't breathe anymore. I got COVID, and then I can't breathe. I die. That is your strongest attachment. The wanting, the craving for to live, for existence. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, that's a very good point as well. Yeah, of course.
That's the model answer. but I agree with you. So when you ask us to do exercise, I did think a little bit. Then I was thinking, my family comes number 1. Yeah. And my body also comes number 2. Because I always want to keep it nice, clean, want it to be healthy, not to be sick. Not to look old, although that inevitably we are aging, that kind of thing. Wants to look good. Yeah, in photo, when you want to take photo before that, before you go out. Yeah.
Yes, this is true as well. That's a good point, Saiken. Thanks for sharing. Yeah. Uh, yeah, making our body look good. Yeah. For ladies, usually they use makeup. I'm not sure if any of you use makeup, but I know some of my friends do, even some Buddhist friends. But they say it's for work, but sometimes it's also to reinforce their beauty.
Actually, it is okay. It is okay to make up. It is okay to look good and presentable. You know, because I mean, we not talk about enlightened or unenlightened, but this is just to let people have a good impression of you, or rather, not to give rise to people's defilement, you know, like seeing you look dirty, you know, and unhygienic and kind of thing. Then they will have, you will cause other to have defilements. Yeah. So it is not wrong to be presentable, I would say. It's just that we are so attached to it. Don't get attached. Yeah. So it's still okay to you know, yeah. Be tidy and
Yeah, actually about appearance, in the past, I do try to maintain my appearance as well. You know, my hair wasn't used to be like this. It was really long, you know, like the Taiwanese actress. Like I every day when I go out, I need to use some wax. Not sure if the wax is still here. Okay, I really go all my way to purchase. This is a quite pricey wax, Uber Suede. Then when I go out, I cannot go out without styling my hair. Put some wax on my hair, make sure it looks good to the left, a little bit to the left. Yeah, I think that's one way I was trying to reinforce my image as well. The image of self, you know, the sense of self, the sense of I. But after I changed my hairstyle to this, I do feel a lot of liberation in so many sense. Firstly, it's a very low maintenance style. Every time I wake up, my hairstyle is the same. It's not messy, it's not, you know, puffy, all those stuff. And secondly, it's also liberating in the way that I don't really care about how people see me anymore, how people see my hair anymore, whether I look good in my hair or whether I look bad. Yeah. And in that way, it feels so free, is that I am free of this concern of people caring about my image. So in that sense, I am, at least with regards to my hairstyle, I can say I'm pretty much liberated. Probably not 100%, but much more than previously. Yeah, that's one way of reinforcing the self-image. So Li Ying asks, why did you shave your hair? It was actually because I attended a 7 days no-fish retreat, and it's actually with Shifu. Yeah, it was a really good 7 days retreat. I think Saiken was there as well. I would say it's life-changing for me. It was what reinforces Buddhism, the teaching itself, and applying it for 7 days. I would say it's really good and really, I would say, instill a lot of confidence of Buddhism in myself. Yeah. So I have an aspiration to try again a longer retreats in the future. Let's see how the COVID situation goes. Yeah. So after that novice retreat, I just maintained the same hairstyle. The plan was to try it out for 1 year, see if it works out. But after 1 year, I just feel so used to it. I did not bother to change back to my old hairstyle. Yes. Anyway, I don't think today we have time to go to the materials. We can continue again tomorrow. So just I mean, today is also a good sharing as well. We don't have to go through the material every day. Yeah. So it's nice to hear sharing from some of you, Sai Kiang, Li Ying, and Xing Hui. Okay, Xing Hui want to share.
Oh, okay, so I just want to ask, the part about you, it was mentioning lesser attachment has lesser suffering. So if we, for example, when you mentioned the phone, our belongings, etc. So of course we can gradually cut down the usage of the phone, or maybe bring less thing in the wallet so that the consequence won't be that bad when we lose it. But how about the part that Sai-Kang mentioned about the 5 aggregates?
Mhm.
How to actually apply? Yeah, how do we apply that?
Well, at least I think the 5 aggregates would be the hardest one to apply the teachings to, because if you can apply the teachings to 5 aggregates and realize it, that would, I would say, you're close to enlightenment. Because enlightenment, after all, is to dispel this sense of I, a very deep sense of conceit, of self-image, and the sense of the reinforcement of the self-image. But how to apply it? The simplest one, I would say, you can start with form. So what do we mean by form? Is the physical representation of ourselves. So what kind of things that we can contemplate with our forms? Firstly, like Sai-Kang mentioned, aging. I think all of us experience aging in some ways. Even me and someone like Dean, even though we being young, we know that aging is inevitable. How do we know? We can just take a look at our 10 years old photo and compare it to now. Do we age? Yeah, of course we do. But the thing is, this is hard to realize because day to day, we don't really feel that we age. Let's say today I look in the mirror, this mirror. Okay, I have mirror on this side. And then tomorrow I look again in the mirror. And it doesn't look like there is a difference. But when you go back few years back, like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you can compare your photo when you were young and when you were, all of you, I presume you are beautiful when you were young. I mean, now all of you are still beautiful, maybe on the inside. But I think this is one way you can contemplate aging. Like, just take a look at your past photo and then compare. Oh, so this is aging. And then some days you will also fall sick, right? Yeah. Like maybe like once every 3 or 6 months if you're healthy. If you're not that healthy, maybe you will fall sick more frequently. Then at that point, it's really a good time to contemplate. Oh, this is sickness. Yeah. And the last one, if you like to contemplate death, it doesn't have to be starting from us first, but you can see the people around you. Especially at some point, the people close to you starts to pass away one by one. And then this is also one of the powerful ways to contemplate death. And then finally, you can also end with the contemplation of death in yourself. How would you feel when you finally pass away? Yeah. I mean, this is just some of the ways that I can think of. How about others?
Maybe
Yeah.
I just talk a little bit about the 5 aggregates. The 5 aggregates meaning forms, feelings, perception, mental formation, and consciousness. So in Mandarin it's 色受想行识五蕴. So these 5 aggregates, when you want to practice, you have to, like, moment to moment, right? If you want to practice, it has to be together with our 6 sense base. That means 我们的6根是眼耳鼻舌身意. So the eye when it sees, the ear when you hear, the nose when you smell, the tongue when you taste, the body when you touch, and the mind when you think. So how are you going to practice this? That means every time you see something, every time you hear something, every time you know, this sixth sense base touch, the sixth sense object, you give rise to the sixth consciousness. You must consciously be aware that there is no self in it. Who is experiencing it? You can ask yourself, who is experiencing this thing? Is it permanent? You know, so if you really want to practice, then you have to contemplate on the three universal characteristics. That means we take impermanent as permanent. You know, we take non-self as self. We take suffering as happiness. So every time you meet something or see something, then you have to reflect on this. Who is seeing? You know, is it permanent? It has to depend on conditions to arise. Then this thing happen. So, and then you check yourself, what defilements have arisen. You know, for example, the cockroach story that I told you just now. You know, you see something, you see a cockroach, when it comes to your mind. So the feeling, the seeing, then after that, the feeling comes, right? The feeling says, oh, I have bad memory about this cockroach. Oh, it's going to, you know, crawl into my body, that kind of thing, cause me harm. And then the perception, you know, the previous experience comes, and then you have this feeling and perception. They are very fast, they are together. This thing just comes up. And then the mental formation, oh, what are you going to do about it? You know, the action next come. So are you going to kill it? You want to remove it? You know, that kind of thing. You know, so it's all inside your this mind, you know, this consciousness. The defilement is, you know, irritation, anger arises, you know, that kind of thing. So when you see, then how are you going to practice? Like, okay, so to counter aversion, you know, you need compassion. So if you put Dharma into practice, then okay, this cockroach is just like me. He doesn't like suffering. He wants happiness. He doesn't want to die. You know, so you put yourself in the cockroach shoes, and then you, okay, I will send, you know, metta to you. You know, he fear death just like me. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah. So every time, everything, whether your ears, your eyes see something, your ears hear something, then you have to contemplate on use Dharma, you know, use the three universal characteristics, and slowly every day, yeah, you cultivate good. Because from the previous lesson we learned already, right? What is unwholesome, what is wholesome, the Buddha already teach us. So I think having the right view is the most important. What constitute unwholesome actions? You know, killing, stealing, sexual misconduct. You know, verbal, the four, and the mind, the three. So daily, that's how we put into practice. Yeah, we have to keep cultivating. But our mind is like a monkey mind, right? So quick to act on whatever we see, we hear, on the sixth sense base. When we touch anything, just pop up. So the important thing is also to meditate. That's what we are practicing. To have meditate, to let the mind have a calm stage. At the calm state, then you contemplate, to try to put it, you know, into practice, to try to, you know, visualize and that kind of thing. Yeah. So slowly, hopefully, one day we can, don't cling to our 5 everydays. We can just see it, you know, as it really is. Conditions arise, oh, this happened, you know. No use to be angry, no use to be greedy and attached to it, you know. Then we can be like the Arahants. Because the Arahants also have eyes, ears, nose, and things also happen to them. But it's just that they don't crave and don't get attached to it. They can really see it. There's no purpose. It's useless for you to be attached to something that is impermanent, you know, there's no self. Yeah, they can see it because they have wisdom. So what we are cultivating, and I think, is the wisdom to really see it. Yeah, what we are doing now is like learning, you know, in the intellectual part, the concept part. Then we have to put it and become our own perception, the right view. So yeah, I think that's my understanding.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think Saikyang made a good point in the terms of three universal characteristics. I would say that is the most methodical way to contemplate the five aggregates. But in fact, these three universal characteristics, you can contemplate it with regards to everything, not just the five aggregates. Yeah. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the sutta, but let me just paste it this one. This series of questions is really, I would say I use it a lot as well to contemplate. So let me paste this in the chat. So this is from the sutta itself. What do you think, monks? Is form permanent or impermanent? The monks answer, impermanent, venerable sir. What is impermanent? Suffering or happiness? Suffering, venerable sir. What is impermanent? Suffering and subject to change, fit to be regarded thus as this is mine, this is I am, this is myself. No, venerable sir. So this is from Samyutta Nikaya 2245. Let me paste. So Saikyang made a good point is that we can contemplate the five aggregates based on these three series of questions. Firstly, impermanence. Secondly, is what is impermanence brings suffering or happiness? And the thirdly, does what brings suffering fits deemed to be regarded as self? Then usually the answer is no. Usually I apply this mostly to what brings me happiness or attachment. Yeah. You can apply this to anything. Let's say, going back to the example of the phone again, we can say phone is the aggregates of form, but externally. You know, when the phone suddenly were to become impermanent, then there's the first question. What do you think, Marcel? Is phone permanent or impermanent? Then I can say impermanent. Second question, then is what is impermanent will bring me suffering or happiness? Then, oh yeah, when it becomes impermanent, yes, it brings me suffering. Then is what brings me suffering fit to be regarded as my phone? Then of course the model answer is of course no, but practically it's not so easy to realize it on myself. Yeah. But you can apply it to anything. You can apply it to your own form, your face, your beauty, your hair, your hand. Yeah, whatever you're attached to, whatever parts of your body you're attached to. Okay, Ling asked a difficult question. Does this statement or argument takes the assumption that what is mine should be permanent? Is there a stance that what is mine is in fact impermanent? Or even that mine is a human construct? I think that if you can regard mine as impermanent, truly regard mine as impermanent, then I think maybe you are already close to enlightenment. But I would say most people are usually not able to regard or see themselves that way. Okay, that's a good question by all of you, Xing Hui and Ling and Saikyang. Oh, the only 3 persons participating so far. How about others? Okay, any comments or questions before we wrap up for today? Maybe I check one by one. Choi Kwan, any comments or questions?
Not really. The only thing, the 5 aggregate, as you say, most of it I'm able to abstain. But the only thing is sensual desire. I mean, I like to watch Korean movie. I like to play games. That the 2 things that I'm trying very hard to lessen. But I've cut down a lot already. Actually, I'm praising myself. The rest are not a problem.
Oh, Oh, I did not know you play games. What kind of games you play? Is it
A lot. That's mine. Whatever I think interesting, just to play to keep my mind active.
like a mobile game?
Afraid. Yes, mobile game
Or
from my
something,
iPad. Yeah.
something like Candy Crush or
Something like that. And then the searching, the detective things and this.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I play a lot of games as well. I used mobile games was really addicting.
Yes, sometimes can get addicted. So, but now I cut down a lot.
Okay, that's good.
I used to be addicted to Choi Kwan.
Yeah,
Candy
especially
Crush.
the Korean movie.
Oh, Korean movie, yeah, I also used to. But
So-
how did it go away? I don't know, it just suddenly go away. For me, I don't know. The question come to my mind that Candy Crush level 1007, level 2000. So what? After that, so what? They'll create more and more levels for you to break it.
The one thing is I don't like to watch those type. I watch only crime, some kind of comedy type, or the crime mystery. I don't go for those other type.
No, I'm
Yeah.
talking about the Candy Crush, the
Yeah,
game,
usually, yeah.
the game. So you're talking about game that involves detective type, is it?
Yeah, like the crime solving and things like that. Sometimes,
Ah,
or in a family, the conflict within a family or business, this kind of thing, which relate to our daily life. And from there, I can think about matching it with what I study in Dharma.
so
Yeah,
it's
sometimes
still
the greed
good.
is that, this is the greed, how they attach to wanting something and then that cause all the disruption, things like that. Yeah. So those are the things. But now I cut down a lot. I try not to watch. Once you start, you cannot stop.
Yeah, correct. Once you start, you
Yeah.
cannot stop.
Well, what are some of the titles? Did you follow the latest Squid Game? Probably.
Not the script because after reading the review, I didn't
I
want.
don't like.
My family member watch it,
Okay.
and then but I just don't want to watch it because
So, yeah.
yeah.
What do you watch recently? Like Taiwan Class or Sky Castle? Is it? Oh,
Yeah, and then some of the hospital
Hospital
news,
Playlist.
yeah, and then Good Doctor, that kind some of the English movie as some the drama.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks for sharing. I have to say the only games that I play now is chess. I play this every day. And I actually just registered for an actual chess tournament next month. So we'll see again. Hope I don't get crushed. But games, I think some of us get addicted as well. So I can also mention mobile games especially it's very addicting. Because sometimes when we want to waste time, we can just whip up our phone and then play around. Okay, thanks for sharing, Choi Kwan. Okay, how about Kim? Would you like to share anything, questions or comments?
I think as long as we are not enlightened, we will have everything, some of everything that you all have said. You see, so I think if we do not indulge too much, I think it is still, you have to keep our mind active, especially as we are aging. We don't want to bring burden to our children, to our family. Our mind has to be active. We have to keep learning, but we cannot be 24 hours just reading the Dharma. So I think 适可而止 lah, Chinese say. I do have desires like picking up a lot of new skills, learning. When I see things, I will want to go and learn, So I think that's about it lah. I have everything that everybody has.
Oh, actually, learning new skills is not necessarily a bad thing in itself. But what kind of skills you learned recently?
Recently, now we actually go into 3D printing.
Oh.
Then the scan and cut, there's this machine where you actually download your pictures. They will do those Chinese paper cutting. That is just one of it lah. You can download your pictures. You actually go into the printer, they cut everything for you, every single holes and all that. So this is from the library, which is free lah. They teach you how to use it. So I could pick up the skills there.
That's very good. And I would say curiosity, keep picking up new skills. I would say it's a good thing actually.
I mean, to keep up with the time, and also, but not indulgence. I don't make myself, okay, I must go and do this. I have the time, I sign up every week. I just go there and pick up something. Every lesson, pick up something new. But I don't stress myself in the sense that I must perfect it, because to me is at this age, there's nothing is perfect anymore. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So we just pick up the skill as along. Or every week I can learn something new.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's very good. And you embodied what the Singapore government tried to enforce. Lifelong learner. Yeah.
I think it's for our mind to work.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Very good. Very good. Thanks for sharing. Okay, then how about Tammy? Would you like to share anything?
I actually contemplate about the mobile phone you mentioned yesterday. Like if I happen to drop this phone, what is my reaction going to be? Yeah, a lot of data inside there, like the entire list of the contacts and that kind of thing, all the password, one whole set of password. Oh, I kept in. So I'm thinking, if I'm going to drop this, it's like if I'm going to drop it into the sea, then it's like, will I start blaming myself when I pick out this one phone? Of all places, you go and pick it up at nearby a sea and you're going to drop it into the river or that kind of thing. I start like, a lot of all this. Then when I come to think of it, it's like, all this data should have some backups. There should be some backup, some form of savings or anywhere. So if I'm going to encounter things like that, so will I like the first reaction is that I'm going to get angry. But if I were to know that there are some forms of things to help me, like I have some backups. So is like, so it shouldn't really agitate me that much. Maybe it's the physical thing that really caused the irritation of why I do all these things. But actually, when I settle down and I think, it's like, yeah, if things can help, then I should tackle more of the first reaction that actually that were raised to how am I going to tackle this first reaction. So yeah, this is something that I'm learning on the first reaction. Like, I go and eat some food, then the first reaction is like, wow, 很好吃, very good compared to the other one. So when I suddenly have this thought, it's like, I do a comparison already. So it's a thought that came out. I noticed I do a comparison. So when I come back, why I do a comparison? Oh, because I have something, a past experience I compare. So, or because I have some thoughts about the food is good and no good. So I have in Chinese that I call that is a 分别心, as in I differentiate this good and no good. So I'm also learning into, I'm going to fall back, as in I'm just appreciating the food, but I don't want to define it as really good or no good. But even I really define, but I don't attach it to, oh, so good, keep comparing back the last round as, yeah, it's so good, it shouldn't, this one is no good. Then I have a lot of all this. So once I have these thoughts, I will go back and investigate why I have this. Then I will go further again to investigate. Okay, so the next round, if I go have these thoughts, how fast these thoughts comes in, and I'm just hoping I can practice to that. I just appreciate, instead of having the thoughts. Then if I'm gonna have the thought, how I'm going to react to that and just be appreciative, or I will still start nagging and say this is no good, waste of money, that kind. So this is more of my practice.
Yes, yes. That's very good. And it's especially even harder in Hong Kong because I heard they had a lot of good food, right?
That's why I start comparing, and then a lot of similar kind of food. Yeah, so start comparing all these things. So it's like, so uh, so the other day I also saw something the Hong Kong TVB drama also, because I think there's this drama they are saying the guy is trying to take a revenge on something. So after all the revenge, he said he don't feel happiness and joy there. So this is also something that we start to like, if this is something I want to take a revenge, but why I didn't feel the joy? So yeah, this is something that it came up from that drama, and it ponders me. If this is something I really want, but why I didn't feel it. I didn't feel the joy if that's something that I really want to take a revenge on. Yeah, I didn't get an answer yet, I guess. Yeah, but I'm thinking about this. Maybe I'm too free, nothing to do, so keep thinking about it.
You back in Singapore now?
I'm supposed to back today, but I extended 1 more week, so I'm coming back next week, next Sunday.
Oh, enjoy your last week in Hong Kong. I think you will miss it probably.
Gonna miss it already.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for sharing, Tabby. Okay, maybe
Thanks.
let's see if Ji, would you like to share anything? You're muted.
我讲华语了 ，OK， 我用华语解释。
哎，华语可以，
可以啊，
可以可以。
没有什么好讲，只是我每天跟着你的课程，跟着你每天早上这样做啊，而且你的那个英文的那些读啊，我学了很多那个词汇，我学了很多，我每次都拿电话，那些我不懂的字，我尽量的去Google找出来，然后写出来，找出它的它的 meaning 我学了很多，因为你读了，我就是尽量的把它找出翻译出来了，只是没什么，就是说每天早上我就这个时间，知道这个时间我应该要做什么，每天有你这个时间把我规定在那边，好像有一个，我应该今天要做的是什么？今天我要学的是什么星座？一定要听你的那个解释那些佛法的那些里面的内容，就这样了。其实我还没有上这个课，我也是每天都是有听做的，是这样。OK，那没什么了，OK，谢谢你。
谢谢 Brother 黄居。
Thank you。
你不要觉得没什么，你的 presence， 你的在场已经给我们一个很大的鼓励。
谢谢你。
对。
再见。
Okay, then can we hear from 谢谢Ji. And can we hear from Quack if you would like to share anything? Quack, how are you, Quack?
Oh, okay. Actually, I joined in because of the sutta, no. I also read, I cannot understand. So when I need somebody to explain, somebody to explain on the thing, then I can understand. Also, if I alone read, I can't understand, no. That's why I join in. I also to meditate also. Yeah.
So do you find the sessions understandable so far?
is so far so good lah. So far so good. Thanks a lot. No, actually, I enjoy your comment.
Okay.
Actually, I was laughing also when you talk.
Thanks a lot, Craig. I think it's really meaningful, especially coming from you. I think we had a really good sharing today. Probably we can do this more often, like on a weekly basis, like just every either Saturday or Sunday. Maybe you can just do a sharing like this, or every once in a while. You know, not just reading through the text every day, but and then forget about it. It will be more like wasting time. But sharing like this, applying the Dharma in our daily lives, I will feel it's more meaningful. You know, this is where we enliven the text, enliven or enliven. I forget how to pronounce it. You know, this is where we embody the teaching when we apply it in our daily lives. And this is where we bring the Dharma back to life, you know, not just mere words and letters. So thanks everyone for sharing. Maybe I just read one last comment from the honestly respect to Bodhisattvas, Devas, other higher beings who mindfully choose to be reborn here. They knew and experienced better, and they had to put up with the rut here due to realm conventions, due to a mission they need to accomplish based on their own will. Yeah. So sadhu to all of them, and of course to all of us for participating in this morning session. May we be well and happy. May we be free from suffering. And as a closing, let's do a dedication. 愿消三障诸烦恼，愿得智慧真明了，普愿罪障悉消除，实是长行菩萨道。阿弥陀佛。Till we meet again, may we be guided by the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. And have a compassion to cockroach and smokers day ahead.
Thank you, Marcel. I would like to do a special dedication to my friend, Joey Tan. It's her birthday today, and she caught COVID about 1 week ago. She's still in quarantine. I hope that she can have a speedy recovery and be free from the suffering. Yeah.
I hope it's not serious. How is she doing right now?
She's having fever, up and down,
Okay.
and yeah, vomited. You know, yeah, not very comfortable. But to have COVID, you know, and to spend her birthday in a quarantine. Although she's quite lucky. She's sent to the Hard Rock Hotel in Sentosa for quarantine and recovery. But yeah, from the conversations I had with her, her fever is up, and then when she take Panadol and all that, it comes down a bit and goes up again, come down again. Yeah. So yeah, wishing her a speedy recovery. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Marcel.
Thanks, everyone. I'll see you guys again next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Marcel.
Thank you. Bye-bye.